That's correct. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, folks, a lot of people think that is just bad news. Not true. So I'm not joking. I'm truly. You probably expect something trivial or even sarcastic, and it really is bad news. No. This is actually good news. It is from USA today. I love that. Just for that alone, I like citing USA Today. There's USA Today, there's USA Today yesterday, and there's USA today tomorrow. Oh, incidentally, you know what I think I'm tweeting out? I'm reading a terrific book, and I forgot I said twitting? I know, I meant tweeting. Tweeting. What I'm tweeting out is an observation that came to me. I wrote it down while I'm reading this book by who was that brilliant woman who we've had on? She's British, and she writes exactly as we critique our society. She critiques her own. No. All right. Anyway, she wrote a book on the war on masculinity and the like, and the whole sex issue in Britain. And I have to have her on. But anyway, it provoked me to realize something, and then I'm going to give you the good news. But I just wanted to tell you this. Here is another rule. Remember the rule? There are a lot of rules under which we govern ourselves. So remember, when a white racist kills blacks, the left speaks about racism, and when a black racist kills whites, the left speaks about guns. So here's another one. Ready? When women criticize men, it's called feminism. When men criticize women, it's called misogyny. Correct?
Yeah. Could you say sexism and make it a little? Would that work?
Sexism as opposed, because you want to balance an ism with an ism. But it's stronger than that. You say something negative about women, and you're a misogynist. You're a woman hater. Sexism is too mild. I realize I'm going to have a series of tweets on the rules that govern discourse in our country, and that come up at times, and I would forget them. The tweeting thing is actually helpful. It's like when we underscore points that I make on the show. So here's the good news. Are you ready? It is time for the good news fanfare, but not trumpets. No, that's a regular. That's like a new station. We so rarely have good news. I'm not sure we have a good news fanfare. Maybe the Three Stooges having a fun time. By the way, why don't we use that old education theme when we talk about academia? That's bad, Sean. That is bad. He's throwing his hands up like I critiqued him in an unfair way. I treat him with kid gloves. I love him up, and now he's like he's in the fetal position now. He's so hurt. Anyway, you'll come up with good news fanfare. They can't. Isn't that sad? Maybe listeners, you should send me an idea for if I have good news, how we should proceed it on the show. And this is from USA Today. Would you believe it? Earth has 3 trillion trees! Exclamation point. 3 trillion. That's the staggering number of trees on Earth, according to a new tally that astounds even the scientists who compiled it. 3 trillion is 3 followed by 12 zeros. Is that right? Yeah, but wait a minute. 9 zeros. Wait, so 6 zeros is a million. 9 zeros is a billion. That's right. 12 zeros is a trillion. Oh. By the way, you realize what our debt is? You realize our debt is in the trillions. Yeah, it's yeah. There is let's put it this way. The debt is over 5 times bigger in dollars than the number of trees on Earth. All right, let me continue. 3 trillion is followed by 3. 3 followed by 12 zeros, which is more than the number of stars in the Milky Way. That's a big that gives you an idea of how many trees on Earth. And more than the number of cells in a human brain. If the new sum is accurate, and other scientists think it is, the planet boasts roughly 420 trees for every living person. I'm touched. There are 420 trees for me. An earlier count pegged the global tree total at a mere 400 billion, but that study relies on less sophisticated methods. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. That's a repeat of that point. The total is astonishing, study co-author Thomas Crowther, who did the research as a postdoctoral student at Yale University, told reporters. When Crowther asked forestry experts to predict the total, they made wildly incorrect guesses, he said in a separate interview. No one could comprehend the scale of the things we were seeing. Now, are you ready? That's the good news, but there's no good news for those who have a view of the environment that is worshipful. In a more sobering find, Crowther and his team calculated that roughly 15.3 billion trees are cut down each year, and humanity has reduced the Earth's tree population by nearly half since civilization began.
That's got to be one of the lines of the year.
You're right.
It has to.
The living martyr rarely speaks up with that amount of passion, but he says it's got to be one of the lines of the year. I agree with you. Do you realize that before humanity ever existed, there were twice as many trees? That, I believe God made humanity, but I'll tell you whether you believe it's God or just randomness. There was no one here to hear which fall. The trees, yes, there were, because the trees fell because people cut them down. So there was somebody. Before there were people, if a tree fell down, before there were people, no one was here. It's sad, it's sad. You guys are not taking the sad news seriously. You know that. You're just mocking the bad news. See, if you compare the Earth to before humans existed, then you come up with these ideas. But it's an absurd. The absurdity of it, it apparently doesn't dawn on those who make those comparisons. I rather have 6 billion people and 3 trillion trees than no people and 6 trillion trees. That's my view. Trees don't love. Trees don't write symphonies. Trees don't give birth to little kids. They give birth to next trees, so we'll leave that aside if you want to compare a kid to a tree. Of course you will say, but trees don't go to war, trees don't rape, trees don't torture. That's correct. We come as a very mixed bag, the human species. I agree. But the comparison is just an absurdity. So what if there were 6 trillion trees before? So what? Anyway, the point of the article is they are astounded by the number of trees. So the next time you hear about, don't waste a tree, save a tree, please understand we don't lack for trees on Earth. Almost everything comes out to be a hysteria. You know that? If it emanates at least from the left. Virtually everything does come out eventually as one of those. We have a great video, by the way, at Prager University by Patrick Moore, one of the founders of Greenpeace, and it's titled, Trees Are the Answer. Yeah, the trees suck in carbon dioxide. Bless their souls. And I'm going to go and hug a tree, and we'll be right back. I'm Dennis Prager.